Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible.
Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jordan Hall. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm kind of groggy this morning because I literally woke up like an hour ago and I'm still trying to wake up, and it's really early in the morning while I'm doing this, but I'm trying to recover, and I have a class in like an hour, so I'm trying to get this done. So yeah, but I love podcasting and I hope everyone's doing great. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I spent time with my beautiful mother that I talk about a lot. She's amazing. We spent time going to this park that we love to go to. We went to visit my mother's grave because it's also Mother's Day for my mother's mother. So we visited her grave, planted some flowers. We saw my dad's mother too. We saw her ashes, and then we walked on the boardwalk at the city that we like to go to, and we looked at the beach, and we just had a nice little walk. It kind of counted as my workout, so it was a nice fitness thing, and we had a lot of fun. And then when we came home, we had some pasta, and it was really good, and I can still taste the amazing taste in my mouth. So that was great. So yeah, that was my day yesterday. So let's actually get into the podcast now. We have a lot of amazing topics. Actually, I have a lot of amazing topics that we're going to talk about today. The first segment, we're going to talk about how to make people like you. The second one is going to be finding inspiration, how to personalize your look. The third segment will be 7 ways to avoid making bad decisions in life, which I've done a lot and other people probably have, but it's normal and we will probably learn from our mistakes. And if you stick around until the end of the show, I will be talking about some things and memories that helped me mature over the years. So that will be interesting to talk about. So for the first segment, we will be talking about how to make people like you. It's very hard to impress people sometimes. Some people are just really stubborn and don't want to get to know the other person. But yeah, we're going to read this article. This is probably the last time for a while that I'll be using this website called successconsciousness.com because I do need to explore other websites, but this website has a lot of positive articles on it, so that's why I use it. So anyway, let's get into the article. The article says, do you sometimes wonder why people don't like you? Yes, I do a lot. I always think about that a lot. Do you wonder why some people are always liked? Yes, like celebrities. They don't even have to, they do much. They write songs and stuff, but sometimes it can be easy to get people to like you, or it can be hard. It depends on the people. Do you want more people to like you? Yeah, because I always strive for attention still, so yeah. Everyone wants to be liked and loved. This is a subconscious desire that everyone has from an early age. Yeah, I still have that, and I'm 23. People need others' approval and are unhappy if they do not get it. Yes, I can relate to that. Some people like to show off. Some people crave for compliments or approval. Me, when I was on social media, I always used my talents and posted them as a way to get people to like me. People do that because they want people to like them. However, sometimes people do and say things that create the opposite effect. Yep, also happened to me, too. But, sometimes things can backfire. Though some factors are outside our control, We are responsible for a great extent for the way people treat us and whether they like us or don't like us. This means that there are many things we can do to increase the chances that people like us. Behavior, words, and body language determine how people treat us and how we treat them. Usually to get people to like you, you shouldn't even try. You should just use your personality and people will like you for your authentic self. You shouldn't have to try. The people who like you are people who should be your friends, unless they're like creepy people, you know? Examples when we like or dislike people. Suppose you enter a shop and you see that one of the employees is watching you and going after you with a sour face. When you ask him a question, he answers impatiently and impolitely. How would you feel? Would you continue shopping in that shop? No, I wouldn't. Would you like the salesperson? You would most probably want to go away and not return to that shop. Most definitely. So anyway, let's keep going because there's definitely more below this. Now imagine that you enter a different shop where you feel welcomed. The seller smiles at you, is kind, and answers every question patiently and politely, and even offers you a glass of water. You would like the salesperson and be more inclined to buy, wouldn't you? The person could be pretending, or the person actually could be actually like that, but either way, yes, you would want to come back again. That's all about sales, is that you need to be nice in order to attract customers. It's the same thing in all areas of life. We like people who are kind and helpful and stay away from unpleasant and stressful people. Yes, especially people on the internet, but let's not talk about that. That's what it keeps reminding me of, you know, that. Tips to make people like you. What can you do to make people like you? You shouldn't force this, though, but you should just do this subconsciously. You shouldn't force people to like you, though. There are many things you can do to get people to like you, and I would suggest a few. You might, the article said that, not me. You might have come across these ideas because they are not new. However, constant reminder is important. Smile more often. Also be happy more often. It's not even just smiling. Just be happy and it will show in your face. A smile will always make people more inclined to like you, but it should be natural and real. Exactly. You shouldn't force it. Otherwise, people will know. Unless you're a really good actor and you can persuade people. The tone of your voice is important. Speaking calmly at a moderate speed and a moderate tone of voice would be helpful. Speaking in this way conveys non-aggression and friendliness. Yeah, right now I think I'm speaking okay. I'm just tired. Like, I'm trying to sound happy and presentable for you guys and calm. I'm not too hyper. I'm not too loud. You got to keep your voice very low and not aggressive. Try to make people feel at ease in your company. People need to experience pleasant emotions when they are around you. Even as a boss, if you want your employees to like you, you need to be kind and friendly and avoid creating stress. I mean, you should, but if you do get a boss in real life that doesn't have any of those characteristics, you can't be mean to them regardless. If you want people to like you, you got to be nice, but if you get a boss that isn't nice, you still got to be nice to them. Avoid arguments. Avoid unnecessary arguments, especially about politics, religion, and beliefs. Yeah, you can't be defensive about someone else's beliefs. You may not agree with others' opinions and point of view, and that is okay, but there is no need to make an issue of this or create arguments and animosity. Very true. Show respect to other people. Display respect and interest in other people's opinions and beliefs, but if they differ from yours, direct the conversation toward other subjects. Yeah, you shouldn't argue. You shouldn't focus on agreement. You should focus on agreements, not disagreements. If you disagree with everything, try to make that a fun thing. Try to find parts of the disagreements that you do agree with. And just go with that. This does not mean you should change your opinion or give it up. It is possible to be kind and tolerant with people who hold different opinions or beliefs. And make it fun. Maybe you can do a nice little debate, but don't turn it into something, don't turn it into a fight. Do not insist on talking about topics people do not want to talk about. Unless it needs to be talked about, then no. If you're forcing it on the person, that's not good. If someone does not want to talk about a particular topic, respect his or her wish and move on to something else. Yeah, because we don't like when people drone on and on and on about something that we don't care about. That's what teachers do when they teach a class, which is not their fault. A friend should not be an annoying teacher. Do not focus on yourself. Focusing on yourself will bore the other person. Unless you have a really amazing life, like a really fascinating life, and the person wants to keep talking about you, no. Yes, it will bore the other person. Focus on the other person. This will show them that you are interested in them. But don't be too interested in them, otherwise it'll be creepy. You got to have a balance of talk about yourself a little bit, then ask about the other person. You have to make it a balance. Make them like you. Look for topics that will interest you both. If you share someone else's topics of interest, there is a greater chance they will seek your company. Very true. Find out what the other person likes. If you could find what makes a person tick, you will have a great power in your hands. You will know better how to behave and how to talk. This will make the conversation more interesting and friendly. Of course, you have to be sincere in order for this to work. Yeah, you can't act. You can't. Sometimes people can pretend to be nice in order to gain people's trust. Don't do that. Don't keep talking when people are tired. Unless, yeah, exactly. If the person doesn't look tired, but they are tired, you didn't know better. They got to actually tell you they're tired, or they got to look tired. Don't insist on talking when the other person looks tired. Yeah, if they are tired but they don't show it, then they're a good actor. So that's not your fault. If someone seems tired, stop the conversation. I mean, right now is a very interesting circumstance because I'm very tired at the moment. Like, I'm very tired from yesterday. I had a long day, but it was a very fun day with Mother's Day yesterday. But I can't stop talking because then the podcast would be over. So I cannot do that. So be careful not to bore people. If you discover that you are boring someone, change the topic of conversation. Again, if nobody says anything, then it's not your fault. But don't talk about things like, if someone doesn't want to talk about World War I or talk about the theory of polynomials or something in math, don't talk about it. It's not something that I would want to talk about either, but if someone doesn't want to talk about the history of polynomials or World War III or whatever, don't talk about it. Do not force people to listen to you. Never force people to listen to you. If they are not interested, do not force them to listen to your stories, especially if the stories are about unpleasant matters. Yeah, that would be pushy and annoying. Let's see how many minutes we have left. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. So I'm going to talk about 2 more facts, and then we're going to move on to the next segment. Be careful not to be intimidating. Some people are not aware that they intimidate others by their behavior and aggressiveness. And intimidating behavior alienates people from you. Very, very, very true. I'm intimidated by a lot of people, but sometimes it's not their fault. That's just who they are. So you got to make different friends who work with the other person. Greet people you know. Greet your neighbors, colleagues, boss, friends, and family. This shows that you like them and they will respond accordingly. Yep, very, very true. All right, let's do a few more and then we'll go on to the next segment. Congratulate people. Make it a habit to congratulate people for their good work, good deeds, their success, and for their accomplishments. This equals a tap on the shoulder and shows that you participate in their happiness. People appreciate this behavior and reward you accordingly with appreciation and friendliness. Remember, some people do not show emotions easily, and others are more emotional. Yep, that's me. Some show their feelings and some do not. Some people prefer to talk about serious matters, while others prefer to talk about entertaining matters. Me, I'm more the entertaining person, but you cannot avoid serious topics either, because sometimes you need to talk about it in order to be honest with the other person about a problem you're having or whatever. Your attitude toward people is most important. If your attitude makes people feel uncomfortable in your company, how can they expect them to like you? You got to do what's right for the other person. You can't bore the other person, or you just got to get along with the other person. That's all what it's all about. Okay, so that's the end of the first segment. I'm sorry if I sounded boring, but I am very tired and I'm trying my best. So up next, we're going to be talking about finding inspiration, how to personalize your look. We will be right back.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
All right, everybody, we are back with segment 2. Last segment, we talked about how to make people like you. And for this segment, we're going to be talking about finding inspiration, how to personalize your look. And it's by someone named Mildred Austria, by, again, the same website that I love to go on, but it has a lot of amazing articles, so can you blame me? But yeah, I love using fashion as a way to express myself, so that's why I picked this article, because there might be some interesting ways you can use your outfits in order to impress people. So, all right, I'm going to read the article now. It can at times be challenging to find enough inspiration to help push for a more personalized look. The wardrobe can be a rather intimidating part of a person's life, especially for those who want to express themselves with what they wear. So if any of you are aspiring fashionistas, but you don't really know how to do it, listen to this article. Even those who might not necessarily be interested in fancy clothing still can find ways to express themselves, as humanity is a very social and expressive race. I mean, look at Billie Eilish. She's not, dressing up in dresses and pageant queen gowns and stuff. She wears baggy clothes and sweatshirts, and look at her. She still has fashion, So don't count yourself out. Anyone can do fashion. That said, the frustration that can come from being unable to find a personalized look can be difficult to avoid. When there are so many people flaunting perfect looks online, it can be discouraging for many others searching for their perfect look. I mean, going on social media in general can cause discouraging feelings with yourself. So don't even bother looking at all the perfect people on there. Here are some just ways to help personalize your look with the help of a bit of inspiration. Here we go. Take examples from the best and brightest, but know that how you feel matters. The best piece of advice that can be given to those struggling with a personal look is that while it is crucial to take examples from some of the biggest fashion icons, it is never a good idea to take what they have to say as gospel. And also, you got to do your own thing. You can't copy other people. You got to do what's authentic to you. Keep in mind that when it comes to the wardrobe and the personal look, how you feel will always be a priority. There's no such thing as bad fashion. Unless the colors don't match. I mean, that's another thing. But there's no such thing as bad fashion at the end of the day. After all, the point of a unique look is something that you want for yourself. If something looks great to you, but many others are pointing out flaws, do not let it deter you from doing what you want. That's literally what I just said. Article and I, we're on the same page here. Relax as you can when choosing your wardrobe. You can't have a chaotic mind while you're picking out your clothes. You got to stay calm. You got to. The idea of choosing a great and personalized look is all about going with the flow. You can't get chaotic and be like, oh, what if you have a boyfriend that you need to impress? Don't get all chaotic. The more relaxed you are when making choices, the easier it will be to think about what looks best on you. After all, a unique wardrobe involves making choices based on your current lifestyle and things you enjoy. And also you can experiment, you're allowed to. I mean, Billie Eilish, again, experiments. She doesn't do the same thing. Recently, she's been actually dressing up in dresses and old style. She's been dressing up in like old style dresses, kind of like one of my favorite artists, Marina, did in one of her albums. She dressed up as vintage. So does Melanie Martinez, if you've ever heard of her. She dresses up in like very vintage clothing from like the 1970s. That's what Billy's been doing lately. She literally looks like Madonna now. Like, you got to look up pictures of her. It can be hard to focus on such things when the idea of choosing a look that suits you can get you frustrated instead of excited, because you just want to look good. There's perfectionists in all of us, regardless if you deny it or not. We all have perfectionism inside of us. Sorry, my throat is really dry. Oh my God. Freaking allergies. Try to associate choosing. Maybe that's why I sound tired or feel tired. Because today I have to talk a lot for this podcast, but my throat is just not giving me the energy. I apologize if I sound bored today, guys. I'm trying. Like, I've been doing a lot of these podcasts. All right, anyway, I'm going to get back to the article. Sorry about that. Try to associate choosing a wardrobe with rest and relaxation by pairing it with a wellness product or two. Whether you have to think about a new look, have a cup of your favorite type of tea. Yep. Again, there's no such thing as bad fashion. Unless you're completely, if you're not wearing any clothes, that's not fashion. Anyway, when it comes to choosing the best type of jewelry to go with a look, the general rule of thumb is the more frustrated you get, the more you remove jewels from the lineup. I don't wear jewelry because it's bad for my skin, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. When you're in doubt, keep things simple and wear only the bare minimum when it comes to jewelry. Yeah, I don't like wearing jewelry again because it's bad for my skin. And I feel like if you wear too much of it, it might be distracting when you're trying to write an essay or something. Like, you might have a bracelet on and it's hard to write with or something. Like, don't. My throat is very dry again. I'm sorry. Another great alternative is to go for custom-made jewelry. Businesses such as www.persjewel.com offers plenty of personalized pieces for those who cannot seem to find what they want. The idea of going for a personalized look is more about how you feel than what experts might have to say. Do your best to have fun and try to relax when making your choice. Eventually, you will get used to the idea of going with the flow. That's what it's all about. Don't take it so seriously unless you're taking a fashion class. You just got to do what's right for you at the end of the day. All right, so I just reached the end of the article, so I'm going to go find another article. I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I literally just found another article that's very similar. And, oh, wow, there's a lot of pictures on here. Okay, so let's read this one. It's from, finally, guys, I have another new website. Oh, my God, let's gasp. It's called fashiongonerogue.com. So let's read this one. It's very similar to the other one, but it might be good. Listen up, aspiring fashionistas. Oh, my God. Wearing the same clothes as someone else is the biggest fashion faux pas. F-A-U-X. I think it's faux pas anyone can possibly make. And the best way to avoid it is to personalize your own gear. You got to be original. You can't copy anyone else. Otherwise, your whole entire career is a sham. Be it monograms, embossed names, or even tailoring an entirely customized project, there are limitless options out there for those with imagination and creativity. There's no such thing as bad fashion. I mean, fast fashion is one of the worst causes of pollution and other humanitarian issues. So investing in pieces you can wear with anything and that are personalized to your own style and existing wardrobe will help you to do your bit for the environment and still look great. I mean, yeah, there's no such thing as bad fashion, but there are bad ways to get fashion. Again, like environmental problems, the things that they just listed. So you got to be environmentally friendly, but also look good at the same time. Looking good is feeling good. So when you really like your clothes, you improve your mood. And what better way to truly feel comfortable than by wearing clothing that's made just for you and environmentally friendly and safe as well. Previously the reserve of smaller boutique stores, personalized fashion has become increasingly popular with some of the world's largest brands, making it the perfect way to create a statement through your investment piece. When you consider the cost per wear, bespoke clothing is not as expensive as you may think, making it accessible for every fashion fan. Wow. There's like this picture of a wallet that's like really shiny with pink glitter and a pink bow. Look at this website, guys. It's really beautiful. Wow. There are loads of options to choose from, but with so much choice, what are the best accessories and clothes to personalize? We offer you an insight on how to wear this timeless trend all year round. What timeless trend? Yeah, this is what I was looking at. Beautiful bespoke bags. I think that's a brand, bespoke. This might be the last thing I'm talking about. Oh, no. We have time. All right, so I'm going to talk about a few items they list on here. Beautiful bespoke bags. There's this picture of like a glittering wallet looking thing with pink glitter and a beautiful pink bow on top. It's beautiful. Your arm candy is as individual as you, so making it even more personal with your initials, name, or even a unique sign is the perfect way to really make a statement. Yes. Some bag designers offer a complimentary monogramming service or will even let you craft your own custom creation that will really stand out. Oh my God, yeah. Now you can tote your precious cargo and all the junk you can't bear to throw away in your own beautiful one-of-a-kind bag. I mean, I just have a bag that's just necessary. I mean, it's cute looking, but it does not have my initials on it. So this looks interesting. I mean, I don't want to distract anybody with my flashy bag, but this is starting to look really nice. So, you know. Oh my God. I think this website is more detailed than the other ones. Wow. I'm loving this so much. Wow. I mean, the creativity in this article. All right, so I'm going to scroll down to like maybe two more. There's like two more really cool articles on here. Ooh, creative customized jackets. I mean, I just have a boring like purple checkerboard one right now. It doesn't have my initials on it or anything. It's not boring, but I've had it for years, so I might update my jacket. Bespoke jackets might seem a bit corporate, but for those wanting to stand out from the crowd during the colder weather, they can be truly perfect. I mean, it's like almost summer right now, so I mean, this might be bad timing, but oop, sorry. Some of the larger names, including traditional wax jacket provider Barbour, provides personalization packages to let you create your own coat that will keep out the chill and keep you looking stylish. Coats are an investment piece, with many owning them for years, so this is the perfect chance to really make your mark on your winter wear. It's not winter, so I'll check it out next year. Thank you very much. Ooh. So there's this woman with brown hair covering her eyes with red nails, and there's a bunch of like different shaped rings she's wearing with different jewels like amethyst, lapis lazuli maybe. I don't know. There's so many different jewels on her hand on rings with different shapes and different colors. And it's precious personalized jewelry. I would love that. Personalized jewelry has become a fashion staple for many years, and its popularity is showing no signs of slowing down. There are loads of options out there for you to choose from, including cute name necklaces that will allow you to showcase your individual style. I've gotten personalized jewelry before. I have a necklace with a J on it, I think. I mean, it doesn't have my name or anything, but it says J. And I think I do have a necklace somewhere that says Jordan on it. That's my name. I think I have it somewhere. I have to look for it. You can find a great collection here with plenty of options to choose from. These unique creations are the perfect way to turn a casual outfit into a real statement. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not touching my skin, I can wear like a necklace over top a general sweatshirt or something. Like, it wouldn't really affect my skin much, so I think it would be fine, honestly. So, I'm all here for it. Let's look at one more item, and then we will go to our next segment, the third segment. Monogrammed shoes. Many of the world's most revered brands, including Adidas, Nike, and Vans, offer you the chance to personalize your own shoes and bring your own style to your footwear. It's not just trainers either. You can customize many styles of shoes, including creating custom heels that are both comfortable and beautiful. Shoes are the perfect finish to a fashionable outfit. I mean, you can be barefoot, but that's a weird, people don't walk around barefoot. And as such, being able to customize them and create the perfect pair is great for you to really complete your look. Yeah, I mean, I agree. You got to wear shoes before you go out, so might as well make them look fashionable, All right, so that's the end of segment 2. Up next, we are going to we're going to talk about 7 ways to avoid making bad decisions in life, which can really lead to a bad relationship if you're not careful. We will be back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, everyone, we are on our 3rd segment. Last segment, we actually talked about finding inspiration and how to personalize your look. And now we are going to be talking about 7 ways to avoid making bad decisions in life, which is a very good way to determine your personality later in life and determine your outcome later in life, too. So this is really perfect. I hope you guys listen to this. It's very important. And I hope I make good decisions later in life just by reading this article. So let's go. All right, so I'm going to start reading. It says, why are people prone to making bad decisions? I think because people want to be reckless and they want to impress people, or they just feel like taking a risk. Many would argue that poor choices are a part of life. Well, you shouldn't just do them just to improve yourself. You shouldn't make bad decisions on purpose. Honestly, they just come naturally. Like, the people are like, oh, poor choices are a part of life, and while understanding cognitive behavior is an extensive process, the only way you can prevent the destructive effects of these choices in your life is to avoid making them. No, if you don't make poor decisions in life, then you'll... Okay, they come naturally. This is a hard topic to argue because... if you argue that you should make bad decisions, no, you shouldn't make bad decisions. But if they do happen, it honestly does improve your life. So it's hard. It is easy enough when you are self-aware, but what about those times when you are not? Exactly. I've done that when I was younger. I made bad decisions all the time. Like maybe I accidentally stole something, or I wouldn't share with my brother. I don't know, stuff like that. Like, our brains are hardwired to make choices based on shortcuts. Oh my God. Resulting in more economical and quicker judgments. So how can you train your mind to avoid these shortcuts and make better choices all the time? I don't know. We'll see. Seeking and relying on good information and guidance. Yeah, parents can definitely help with that. Parents can teach you. You can learn on TV shows when characters make bad decisions. But hey, then again, TV shows aren't that realistic. When you are faced with difficult choices, you often seek the guidance of experts or people you trust. There are times where you get valid information from these sources, but hey, then again, there's different people that handle it differently. And there's people with different personalities. But there are also instances where you need to challenge the advice given to ensure that you are provided with accurate information. I don't know. Emotionally and mental clarity is also possible through psychic guidance. A good psychic... I don't believe in psychics, like predicting your future. Is that what they're talking about? A good psychic will help you come up with a personal roadmap. Or I guess they'll give you, like, what ifs. Like, if you did this, then this would happen. Or if you did this, then this would happen. If you ended up stealing this, then, I don't know, something like that. They'll come up with a personal roadmap and empower you to make decisions by weighing the benefits and consequences of each choice. But that's just looking at the pros and cons. If the cons outweigh the pros, then you shouldn't do it. You know? Avoiding common pitfalls. Two of the most common issues that lead a person to decide poorly are assumptions regarding possible best cause scenarios and guessing what might not go well. If these two pitfalls plague your decision-making process all the time, you need to rethink your method to avoid making similar mistakes. I don't want to bring this up again, but me with social media, it's like, oh, if I go on social media again, my self-confidence will go back up. But what are the negative benefits? Oh, I will go back into the cycle of being addicted again. Here's another con. I will be making fake friends again or trying not to, and I'll be fighting my OCD. My OCD will get worse. I will probably get into trouble again, or I hope not, but it just increased the risk of the same thing happening again, and we don't want that. So the only pro that I see here is that my confidence will go up, which it's really not. It's fake confidence. So it's pretty much all cons. So there, I just gave myself a reason why I shouldn't go on social media again. All right, now I'm going to not talk about that anymore. Examine your history. Oh my God, I just did that just now. I just examined my history of going on social media. But again, I'm not going to bring that up. Experts say that people rarely learn from previous errors because of the emotional difficulty to own up to these mistakes. I just owned up to this mistake just now, the social media thing. So, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to own up to your mistakes. You can't just say, oh, that wasn't me. Oh, I never did that. If you deny that you didn't do it, then you might do it again. Despite the challenge, you'll need to shed light on these concerns if you want to understand why you made a mistake in the first place. If you just brush it off, it's like you never got in trouble in the first place. In your mind, you think you never got in trouble in the first place, so that means you can do it again. No. Only by facing the problem head on will you be able to figure out a solution. That too. And it will decrease your likelihood of doing that same thing again. Your emotions in the external environment have a significant impact on your decision-making process. And also other people can influence your decision too. So don't listen to the people who are encouraging you to do bad things. Introspection will help you become more in touch with your feelings and aware of your surroundings. This way you can maintain a more objective frame of mind when faced with challenging choices. You can't listen to people who are giving you, oh, yeah. Make time for self-care. Stress is another factor that can cause a person to make poor decisions. You just gotta give yourself a rest. If you take care of yourself and keep yourself healthy, you will always be in a better frame of mind to make better decisions. Well, that's a decision you're making for yourself. If you take care of yourself, that's already making a good decision. So that's already a good path into making good decisions in the future. Take time to meditate and think. Oh, wow, I guess I have to recommend this to my friend because she's been really stressing lately about her love life. And she loves meditating, so I should suggest that she meditate more. And I got to tell her that a really good website suggests this, so maybe that will help her give her more motivation that a legit website is telling us this. The everyday distractions that surround you can undermine your decision-making and cause you to make bad choices. Extensive multitasking also takes away from the vital process of thinking thoroughly. Well, yeah, then you have to make multiple decisions at the same time, and then that definitely screws everything up. It takes away from the vital process of thinking thoroughly before you act because you're always in a hurry. You need to spend at least 30 minutes each day alone with your thoughts and away from all sorts of distractions. Tuning out the noise will guide you in making better decisions. Yeah, I hope so. All right, we're almost done. We're halfway through the segment, so let's keep going. You got to analyze well. Not getting the desired outcome does not necessarily mean you made a bad decision. There are times when a good choice may also lead to failure. The key is to analyze the outcome and learn from it so that you can apply what you learned in the future. Yes, that's very true. I hope all these things have inspired you guys to make better decisions. So now that I've read this entire article, I'm going to go find another one so we can talk about this more in detail. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I found a very similar article on this website called ConniePodesta.com, and it says 15 things to quit today to stop making bad decisions. So these are bad things that you are currently doing that are affecting your ability to make good decisions. And it says bad choices, we definitely all make them, and hopefully when we grow up, we will get better at it. If you're ready to start making better choices, let's take a look at the top 15 things to quit starting today. Oh my God, this is really relatable. Quit avoiding reality. I mean, me, I, again, used social media. I used video games in the past, and I use mobile games right now, and I'm trying not to escape reality, because recently I've had so many things to do for school, and I've had so many commitments for different things that I'm doing, and I use these small things, these mobile games, you know, so I've used social media to escape these pressures that I have and escape all the commitments that I have. And right now, doing this podcast, I'm in reality again. I'm doing something, but it's really hard it's hard to face reality. It really is. I'm going to read the article. Too many people live in if only or I wish fantasy world. Me. And not in the reality of what is actually going on at the moment. Be honest with yourself. But I don't want to. I don't know. I have to work on that. Making choices based on what you wish would happen or should happen or might not or might happen is not a good foundation for decision making. Ugh, I hate when websites are right. The results will never be what you need them to be to move ahead successfully. If you can't realistically look at your life, then ask a good friend to be upfront with you. I mean, I have friends. I have one friend in particular, or maybe two. We still live our head in the clouds. Like, we're not really focused on what job we're going to get or what futures we have. We're all stuck in the clouds. So, I mean, I haven't gotten much advice from friends lately because we all have to follow the same advice. Most of my friends are still not really, I don't know. We all have our heads in the clouds and we're all doing our own thing and we're not really focusing on our future. So we got to do that. We all got to give ourselves the same advice. The truth may hurt, but you can't make good choices without it. I know. Okay, website, I get it. I feel like this is a personal attack on me, but I know it's not. So let's read a few more because I'm getting angry right now, but I know this website is right. This is hitting home too much. Like, I'm not liking it. Just kidding. Okay. The thing is, when things hit home, I start to sound angry on this podcast. And I don't mean to, because I feel like I should be giving myself the same advice. But if I'm reading it off a website, I feel like I'm not, I don't know. I got to be honest with myself. Ugh. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Quit living in the past. This one I let go of the past, trust me, because that was when I was very immature and I've worked on this stuff. So there's some people that really look in the past a lot, and I just focus on the present. I don't focus on the future that much, though. I need to work on that, but I usually don't look in the past at all. Like I kind of used to in the past, you know. Anyway, I know that I've changed. I know that I'm in a much better place now, so I never really focus on the past that much. So anyway, I get it. Stuff has happened that hurt you, angered you, frustrated you, but also made you who you are today. Exactly. That's what I just said. If you want to successfully move into the future, you must reconcile the negative memories in your past. Let it go, reassess, put aside, because they will only set you up to accept and expect more negative. Self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think negative, you will do negative. Making all your choices based on the way things used to be will keep you from creating a new future and determining for yourself what is yet to come. Exactly. All right, so let's keep going. We're almost done. Quit making excuses. Excuses totally take you away from what you need to face in order to be better. Make more, be healthier, create sustainable relationships. Excuses are detours away from reality. They put the blame elsewhere and take away your power to make good choices for yourself. If you blame other people, then that's just backfiring. Excuses keep you from being accountable for your own actions and the consequences that follow. Take charge and determine your own path, and you will make better choices. I mean, yeah, blaming other people doesn't solve anything, because first of all, that's creating stress on that relationship with that person, and you're making up excuses to not get better. You're trying to prove to yourself that what you did is the right decision, which it's not. Quit putting yourself last. Sometimes making good decisions means you have to put yourself first, which means you're not being self-sufficient enough, I guess, yeah. not in an egotistical, selfish way, but in a self-caring way. If your mindset is that you have to always please everyone and get everyone's approval, this used to be me, then you will often make decisions that you're not in your own best interest. There are a lot of people who want your choices to be about them instead of about you. Be confident that you have the right to get your needs met and you will make better choices. Okay, thank you, website, again, for hitting home and giving me advice that I don't follow sometimes. I mean, yeah, I've definitely improved, but I need to follow my own advice more. I swear to freaking God. All of this stuff is hitting home. But anyway, we are done with this segment. Next segment, we are going to be talking about some things that helped me mature over the years, like things I've done in my life or experiences that I've had to make myself mature. We will be right back.
The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything travel. We explore places you've always wanted to go, as well as giving tips for traveling in those places. We'll give you advice on the best sites for travel tips, information, and discounts. Join us as we travel the world, explore cultures, and meet new people. The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast has got you covered. Download the GSMC Travel Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
All right, guys, we're on our final segment. Last segment, we talked about 7 ways to avoid making bad decisions and a little bonus article that had 15 things to quit today to stop making bad decisions. So basically that segment was all about not making bad decisions to have a better outlook in life, basically. But now we're going to be talking about some things that I've done in my life that had me mature over the years and learn that life is not all cotton candy and roses and unicorns. So I've been through a lot throughout my life. I'm like 23 years old. I used to be a child when I was like 17, and that's when you're about to go to college. I was like 18, but I wasn't ready yet. So here are some things that I've been going through throughout my life to help me get here today and helped me become more mature. So let's look at those things now. All right, so that first thing is giving advice to people. I've given many advice to people over the years, ranging from you do what's best for you, or I gave advice to somebody like follow your heart, or you don't have to pretend to be somebody else, or you have to be authentic to yourself. And those pieces of advices, like as I'm giving that advice, I'm thinking to myself, some of these pieces of advices I don't follow myself, because usually the advice I give to other people, I haven't been following myself. So after I give a piece of advice to a friend, I actually start improving on that as well. If I tell somebody else to do something and it's the right thing to do, I also do it myself. So I don't sound like a hypocrite. And also so I can improve myself. So once I told somebody, for example, let's say I told somebody that I want them to stay themselves. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else. Stay authentic to yourself. Don't think that you're better than everybody else, but also don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, let's say I told somebody, don't be so hard on yourself. You're way more than what you think. Be authentic, be yourself, and don't let anyone overpower you. And myself, being someone who has low confidence, don't really give myself that much credit either. Yes, I stay authentic to myself, but I don't appreciate those parts of myself. I tell my other friend, appreciate it. Be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. But me, myself, am very afraid to express myself out in the open to people. I mean, I'm much better now, but I still have to work on that. My self-confidence is very low. So I'm telling somebody else, be yourself, and don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Now I got to do the same thing. I got to be myself, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Because if I'm giving someone pieces of advice that I can't relate to, then how is that going to help the other person? So I got to do what I'm saying. I got to live up to what I'm saying. Because in that piece of advice, that proves that the advice worked. That if I can give somebody else advice, I can do it to myself. And it helps me improve. So that's why I've gotten to this point. Because I used to not really be good at I've never been good at giving advice. But over the years, I've improved and I've improved. Probably because I've been going through things myself. So if I'm giving people pieces of advices that I can relate to, it helps me realize, wow, I really did get through a lot and I'm really helping my friends. So whether I can relate to the piece of advice or not, giving advice makes me feel like I'm maturing in life. But if I'm giving advice that I can't relate to, I actually start to learn or give myself the exact same advice that I'm giving my friend, if that makes sense. So overall, I'm learning by giving people advice. Yeah. All right. So another one is that I have been through many job interviews and I've been to maybe 2 or 3 jobs now. I used to work at this I've been at this transit authority company. I'm not going to say what the company is. But I used to work at this transit authority company, and there were a lot of professional people there. And I felt like I was out of place there. I felt very weird, quirky, and I decided that, you know what, I need to act normal there. I need to act completely businesslike. And so, like, I was nervous, right? When I'm nervous, I actually do act very polite and very, and normal, basically. I act completely normal and polite when I'm nervous. And I realized, you know what? I got to be that way all the time, even when I get comfortable. So one time I actually got super comfortable. After a year, I got really comfortable with everybody and I started to become weird again. And I'm like, no, in my head, I'm like, I can't do that. I got to go back to being polite. And well, I can't not be myself. I got to be the business Jordan. My name is Jordan, right? I got to be the business Jordan. I got to be the business version of myself. I can't be silly and funny all the time, but I don't have to be way too serious either. I got to be just myself, but in a working environment. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to go back to how I acted when I was nervous, but I'm not going to be nervous. I'm actually just going to be how I was supposed to be, just normal. I'm going to act normal. So yeah, I was polite when I first started out, but once I got more comfortable, I had to keep the same composure I had when I first got there, but just not be so nervous, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's another reason why I became more mature, because I've been through some jobs, some internships, and I've learned to just keep that business composure when I'm in a job. And when I get home, I can just be the weird person I want. So I got to control both sides of myself. There's a serious side of myself, serious / business / whatever / silly. And I can be probably only 1% silly at a job. I got to have my personality and what makes me shine, but just keep it at a normal level where I'm not being weird at work. So yeah, that having jobs definitely helped. So another thing is making mature friends. So in the past, I really had like a lot of silly, we were all at the same point when we were 17, but in the past, I used to make like people who that weren't serious enough. Everybody joked around too much, which is why it didn't really help that I had problems with that too, that I was just funny all the time. And so were my friends. My friends were literally funny people. I literally couldn't talk about anything serious with my friends when I was younger. I wouldn't tell anyone anything. Even my closest friends, I wouldn't tell them anything. Like even the people who knew me, I just wouldn't tell them anything because I was afraid I would ruin their friendship. So I learned over the years when I had more serious friends, it actually opened me up more and I actually started talking about more serious things because they would just be so comfortable with it. I would constantly say, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about serious things because I'm afraid that you're not going to like me anymore. Or you're going to judge me or blah, 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 blah. And these friends would be like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm here for you. That's what friends are for. So I'm specifically talking about friends like I've talked about Adam. He's the super positive guy I've talked about who inspired me to be more loving and more expressing of things that I used to think that were cheesy, like showing love, like showing appreciation, like, oh, I like your outfit. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're the best friend ever. Showing appreciation. And then my friend Tyler, who is kind of the same way like that. And he really opened me up to more serious conversations and helped me open up, talk about my problems more. He's literally the sole reason why I talk about my problems now. So I'd like to thank Tyler and Adam again for that, you know. But yeah, so having more mature friends, and yes, they're both silly too. They have their silly moments. But when I have a problem in life, I always go to my friend Tyler or anybody who can handle serious things. And I just talk. I mean, same thing with my mom too. I mean, she has that serious side too. So I talk to her more. And I told my mom, like, she can tell me anything serious. Like, I can handle it. Same thing with my friends. Like, if you need anything, I'm here. Just don't overwhelm me, you know? Just don't put pressure on me, but also I'm here for you if you need me, if that makes sense. Anyway, another thing is that I started watching more mature TV shows. It really helps you think in a different way if you're watching more appropriate TV shows for your age. So, like, if I've ever told you guys that I used to watch My Little Pony and I was like 14, my brain was at a little kid level. And I watched cartoons. I watched Cartoon Network a lot. I watched Nickelodeon, things like that. And I was like 17 and I was still watching that stuff. And then when I was 19 or something, it was actually like 4 years ago, I realized, wow, I really need to grow up and watch more mature TV shows. And that actually started around 18 or 19. I started watching like things like Once Upon a Time. It's live action. It has live action themes. They don't curse a lot in the TV show, but they have more mature themes than they did in other TV shows. So yeah, I actually did start to become more mature when I started watching things like that. So I realized that like 19 or 18, like I gotta grow up. So I started watching shows and I grew up, like Breaking Bad. At first, when my parents used to introduce these mature shows to me, I used to be like, I don't know if I can handle this. Like one of the TV shows was Ozark. I got nervous because I was like, I don't know if I like this because I don't know if there's cursing in it. I don't know if there's like violence or drugs. Like, I don't know. I used to be so against cursing, you know, and stuff like that. So I tried the show and eventually I started getting into the plot and I started ignoring the fact that they would curse because I just worried so much about, oh, I won't like it. Oh, it will scare me. Oh, I'm going to be bored. And no, it actually made me into more of a mature person because I'm watching more mature themes. And then also the same thing happened when they mentioned Breaking Bad, because I remember seeing clips of the show when I was 10 and I didn't like it. I was like 10 or 11. My parents were watching Breaking Bad by themselves. They've seen the entire season when they reintroduced it to me. But I remember seeing clips when I was 10. So I was really biased a little bit when I saw the show again. I was like, oh, like I was 10 years old and I saw a clip of, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was a dad of a son and the uncle was like giving the son like alcohol. I think the son was underage. And the uncle was giving him alcohol. And then but I didn't know that at the time. I was like 10. The dad was bald, right? The dad had no hair because he's going through cancer. And he got so angry at the uncle for doing this. He slams his cup down and he's like, stop giving that to my son. And like, he had this really scary face. And all I remember when I was 10 was this bald man glaring at the screen and looking like he's about to kill the uncle. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I realized like, oh, that guy's psycho. Oh, that guy, I don't like him. I was only 10. So then I was like totally scared of this guy. And now being reintroduced to the show when I was like 22, it was last year, they introduced me to the show again. And I'm like, oh, isn't it about a man who's crazy and he's bald and he does drugs and blah, 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 blah. Because I thought he was this crazy man. Because the only scene I remember is him slamming a cup down and going, stop, or something. Like he was about to strangle the uncle. Like, I get it, he's trying to be protective of his son, but that's all I remember. I remember him about to choke the guy. So I only based it off of that one scene. So I was kind of being, oh, this guy's scary. But I really opened up to the show. I started watching and I was like, oh, this guy's not so bad until the end of the show. But, he's not as bad as I thought he was. So, okay. So another thing that really helped me was that I'm going to go over this briefly because I already talked about it. But another thing was that I stopped playing video games. Because again, it distracted me from the real world. I mean, we just looked at an article where to stop making bad decisions, you have to start focusing on reality. And that's what I did. I put down my video games and I realized, you know what? Playing video games is just wasting my life. No offense to any video gamers out there. If you do it for fun, that's fine. But you got to know that reality in school is more important than mindless video games that just manipulate you and make you realize that, oh, this is the only part of life that I love, blah, blah, blah. They just suck you in and they make the plot so interesting and they put cutscenes in there and they just do these things where the only thing in life is video games, and that's not good. So I put down my video games and I realized that is way too much for me. And here I am now doing the things that I love because I'm not distracted by mindless things. Yes, I still play like some video games here and now, like again, mobile games. But when I have to do my work, I put down my game and I say, you know what? Let's do this work first and I'll play later. That's how it works. Work first, play later. And you'll get plenty of time to do that when you get your work done first. So that's how it works. So here's the last thing I will talk about that helped me mature, and that is learning to actually embrace my talents. So I actually learned over the years that playing the piano is a talent. People actually like that. So I learned that, oh, playing the piano by ear or singing or anything is a talent that I have, and I should enjoy that and I should embrace that. And that really boosted my confidence because apparently other people really like my talents and people really appreciate it. So I started appreciating myself as well. And that all ties into self-confidence and maturity. When you are not confident in yourself, no offense, you're not really that mature because you don't understand how special you are. If you start self-actualizing and realizing how special you are, that all ties into self-confidence and ties into maturity. So now I am more mature because I realize how meaningful I am to the world and to the people around me. So that definitely really helps. So that's the end of the segment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, always a pleasure to be here. So thank you for listening to the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I would like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show and write a nice review. That really helps us. Also, if you could please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find the show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitchers, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows. From the GSMC Podcast Network, from sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast.